the ongoing culture war, there's always this fear that when a new movie or book or comic is set to release, that it will be changed, it will be updated for modern audiences, it will become politically correct, it will become quote-unquote woke. And as somebody who is very excited for Beetlejuice 2 after seeing legacy sequel after legacy sequel get this treatment, I am so happy to announce that according to Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice 2 will not fall into the trap of being politically correct. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and yes, this in from Variety, Michael Keaton didn't want a lot of screen time on Beetlejuice 2, nor was the character made politically correct for 2024. He's more of an it than a he or a she, and I read through this article, and I thought, I really hope that Michael Keaton is correct and that he's actually saying what is truthful and not just saying what he feels needs to be said because he knows the modern audience, because anyone with half a brain is able to look at the history of the last 5 so years of film and seen, oh, legacy sequel after legacy sequel have bombed, have just been horribly destroyed at the box office because they've been changed for modern delicate sensibilities. There are some exceptions, of course, things like Top Gun Maverick, and maybe he even went so far as to say, look at the success of Top Gun Maverick. Hey, Timmy boy, if we're gonna do Beetlejuice 2, maybe we should emulate that and not whatever slop Disney is doing with Star Wars nowadays. So we're going to go ahead and get into this article. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And like I said, Beetlejuice 2 might be the movie I'm excited for more than anything else in 2024. I'm actually seeing Alien Romulus tonight after recording this video. I was very excited for Argyle, and I had my hopes dashed. Nosferatu looking very good. There have been several movies so far this year. Deadpool and Wolverine I was pleasantly surprised at. We all had our reservations if you're invested in the culture war because, well, we know how Disney and the MCU works. And, yeah, if there's one movie I want to truly work this year, it is Beetlejuice. So these words do give me a bit of comfort. Just the question is, can we believe them? Michael Keaton is back as the eponymous Ghost with the Most in Tim Burton's long-awaited Beetlejuice, which is opening the Venice Film Festival this month before opening in theaters in September. Now, I gotta tell you, I was talking to my girl Sexy Vex Electronica about this. She didn't think there was much hype for this film. I sent her some screenshots of my local theater, the pre-seating, the pre-sales tickets, and almost every single showing is already sold out between opening day Thursday and the true opening day Friday. Getting tickets to this, unless they add more showings, actually going to be a bit of a bitch. I hadn't bought any yet because I figured, oh, the movie's still like 3 weeks away. We got time. No, the hype for this movie is real. There's all the seating that's left is like at the front of the theater where nobody wants to sit. Those are the plebeian seats. No, you want to sit in that nice upper middle row. They're all sold out. Literally all of them. So this movie, even if it ends up being trash, I can guarantee you this movie is going to have a gangbusters opening weekend. The actor recently told GQ magazine that one of his stipulations for returning as Beetlejuice was for the sequel not to beef up screen time. After all, the character only was on screen in the 1988 original for 17 minutes. And yes, that is something that people do tend to forget, is that Beetlejuice is not really in the movie much for the movie being called Beetlejuice. Not being said, I'm a Beetlejuice nut. I'm a bit of a fanatic. I love the original animated series. I love the musical, both of which have a lot more Beetlejuice. But yeah, if you're going to make a Beetlejuice sequel, I mean, do what worked in the first one, which was let Beetlejuice sort of be the catalyst for the events, but not actually the main character. I think that's a smart move on Keaton's part. And, if anyone's going to play the role of the best, look, man, I love what they do in the musical, but, Keaton kind of the OG. He didn't want the character to become the star of the show in Beetlejuice. The idea was, no, you can't load it up with Beetlejuice. That'll kill it, Keaton said about his return. I think the Beetlejuice character doesn't drive the story as much as he did in the first one. He's more part of the storyline in this one as opposed to the first one, which is a case of the thing that comes in and drives the movie a little bit. Now, I'm not sure what he means by that, but I'm interested. I'm curious. It got me hooked. Let me want more, Keaton. Again, I don't know how much we can rely, we can, treat Keaton as reliable. However, he was very open and honest in this same Variety sit-down interview, because it covered more than just Beetlejuice. They also talked to him, which isn't covered in this article, but it was covered in the longer sit-down interview. They talked to him about the canceled Batgirl movie. And what he said was, and I'm paraphrasing, but I might be quoting, but if I get like some its or ofs or some commas wrong, I'm more or less paraphrasing. He's like, I don't care that Batgirl is canceled. Sorry, Freudian slip, because we all know how modern superheroes work. I don't care if Batgirl was canceled. I had a lot of fun on set, and it was a nice paycheck. The dude just really doesn't seem to give a damn. He's just out here in these Variety interviews being like, dude, they paid me, and I was happy with the pay. If he's being honest about that, I assume he's also being honest about the level of wokeness in Beetlejuice 2. The Beetlejuice sequel reunites Keaton with Burton and the original cast members Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara. Newcomers include Jenna Ortega, yes, mommy Jenna Ortega, just the ultimate hottie with a body in Hollywood right now, just the sexiest woman in the modern horror scene, the Scream Queen. God, I can't wait to see this movie because of Jenna Ortega as well. Just what an excellent addition to the cast. Alongside Jennifer playing Lydia Deese, her daughter Ortega's Astrid. Keaton told SiriusXM in March that the mother-daughter backbone of the sequel gives an emotional heft the original did not have. That doesn't anything necessarily worrying as long as they do it right. I mean, a lot of Hollywood films have not focused on the traditional family as of late, and we've called that to be a bit of a problem, but we are seeing a bit of a resurgence in it for all of Avatar 2's faults. Avatar 2 at least did focus on a strong family dynamic. I thought that was a good thing. I mean, we could say the same about a few other movies that have come out relatively recently. All in all, it being about, it's a story about women, I'm not going to jump the gun and be like, it's woke. I think that that's being too much of a reactionary. I do hope that it is just well written. At the end of the day, that should always be the goal. Get these products to be well written. Ghostbusters, whether you like the new Ghostbusters or not, we got to acknowledge they also did the strong family dynamic thing right, and I appreciate that. The original was so fun and exciting visually. The sequel is all that, but really beautiful and interesting and emotionally here and there. Keaton said, I wasn't ready for that. It's great. Another stipulation Keaton had for the sequel was to make sure Beetlejuice didn't get a sensitivity check. They're outright saying, Variety is outright saying the words, didn't get a sensitivity check. Bingo, bango, bongo, that's enough. Shut up and take my money. Buy the tickets. I'm here. I'm waiting. It cannot come soon enough. September 5th, gonna be their opening day, baby. Let's go. In order to update him for the times. As GQ reports, as for the character himself, there was not a ton of updating to be done there. Beetlejuice, debauched sicko in 1988, remains a debauched sicko in our more enlightened era. That's all we want, baby. If you grew up in the old school days, if you watched these movies back when they were gems, when they were fresh, when they were of the time, we still want that shit. One of the reasons movies are failing out the ass as of late is because we don't have that anymore. Why do you think that Top Gun made over $1 billion at the box office? It's because it gave the people what they craved. It brought back that original 1980s cinema vibe of people that just didn't give a fuck and wanted to have a good time. Maybe blasted out the mind on a little bit of coke as well. Who knows? I'm not advocating bringing coke to the theater, but I mean, it's a dark place. Who's really going to know? Let's see. Where are we going from here? He's still a debauched sicko. That's what matters. He's a thing. He's more of a thing than a he or a she. He's more of an it, Keaton said. And I'm not saying it to be politically correct. He even says, I'm not saying he's an it to be politically correct. Like, does Keaton even give a fuck? I love it. I just viewed it as a force more than anything. I mean, he's definitely strong male energy, like stupid male energy, which I love. You don't want to touch that because it's like you go, well, it's a new year. This thing will now act like that. He is calling out every single issue we have, and we have had with modern Hollywood in the past decade or so, definitely from 2016 and on. I mean, he's really saying, we all remember Ghostbusters 2016 and how Hollywood has gone down a downward spiral in the 8 years since then. I do not want that to be my legacy with this character, and he's just laying it on Front Street. What they gonna do? Blacklist him? The dude is like 75 years old. How many fucking movies he's really got left in him anyway? This is the best possible case scenario that we could have. Tim Burton be as twisted and wacky and weird as you've always been. Have Michael Keaton come out, give us the ghost with the most and all of his just tomfoolery, his poltergeisty tomfoolery. I cannot wait to see what we're going to get with this new Beetlejuice film. On the one hand, you go, well, of course it's the most fun. It looks like fun. As you know, it doesn't always work like that, Keaton said. The one thing that Tim and I decided on early from the beginning, if we ever did again, I was totally not interested in doing something if there was too much technology. It had to feel handmade, so you mean we also getting practical effects? We're not just getting it being not woke. We're not just getting a new legacy sequel. We're also getting practical effects over CGI? Bro, and they tell you something is too good to be true. It usually is. Do not make this too good to be true, because holy shit, like I said, I'm about to see Alien Romulus after this. I've heard that movie is handcrafted with practical effects. Fede Alvarez is the best in the biz when it comes to modern horror. He is the best modern horror director. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've been told about the practical effects from all my friends that have already seen it. I'm going in, chopping to the bit, ready to experience that. I get it, there's probably going to be some CGI. I'm sure in the Tim Burton Beetlejuice is going to be some CGI, but give us that handmade feel, give us something tangible. The glory days of filmmaking, make it an art again, motherfuckers. I was totally not interested in doing something where there was too much technology, had to feel handmade. It's the most exciting thing when you get to do that again after years of standing in front of a giant screen pretending somebody's across the way from you. This is just enormous fun. I'm in awe. He is saying all the right things. He is talking the talk. But is he going to walk the walk? That is the question, because we still got 3 weeks or so until the movie comes out. And if they just use all this pretty lingo in these interviews and sort of trick people into going and seeing it, and then it turns out to be shit or worse, updated for modern audiences, well, then they will have suckered at least me, and I'm sure plenty of you watching, out of your hard-earned cash. That being said, is it worth rolling the dice on? You want to take that risk? You want to flip that coin? I sure do, because you know what? At least it's not Disney Marvel slop. Keaton sounds excited for it. Burton's been trying to make this happen for years. Again, Jenna Ortega's in it. So in worst case scenario, what? You pay, $9 and you get a gorgeous lady to look at on screen the whole time with her big, beautiful anime eyes that somehow also work for horror films. Yeah, all in all, there's going to be a little bit of something there. I know that everyone is so upset about, oh, woke Hollywood, I can't defend their agenda. And in general, I get that. But there is the other side of the coin where we do have to support well-done films. That way Hollywood gets the message and makes more well-done films. So if you're not sure that this is going to be a well-done film out the gate, you don't want to run the risk, fair enough, but definitely take reviews of people that you trust into consideration, and don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Again, this is a Marvel slop. This isn't Disney Star Wars. This isn't whatever DC is limping to the barn with James Gunn. This is what could be a return to form in true cinema style, much like Top Gun, much like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Again, for all of its faults, it still really did respect the original source material, respected the original cast, respected the original core of what it was, and maybe we're on a trajectory to start finally getting more films like that. And if that's what we're on a trajectory for, then by God, I'm finally happy to be a cinephile again. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about movies or the film industry, but anime, video games, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I refer to on a day-to-day basis, choose the films that I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 80 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity, but only one kind of diversity of thought. So if that sounds interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.